Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the Raymond de Felitta Trio.
I'm a jazz pianist and I'm a filmmaker, and the two are not so different, really. It's all about storytelling to me. The standards, I like to play and work with their songs that have meaning, they have structure, but they also have backstories. You know, who wrote them and why were they written, how did they come into existence and become part of our culture. You know, for years I've felt that in the world of jazz, some more contact between the players and the audience wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. So I decided to talk about these songs a little. I tell the stories behind them. This set's going to be specifically the title track, because this was a syndrome that started in Hollywood in the 50s, and it's a curious an animal, because what they were doing was kind of ensuring the success of a movie by trying to add a hit song that you would associate with the movie. There was one attempt at a title track song, and it was a very famous movie. It was for Gone with the Wind. David O. Selznick created a lot of ballyhoo. The most famous thing he did was the search for Scarlett O'Hara. It generated great publicity, so then he thought, well, what else could we do? How about if you write the best song, we'll make that the title song of Gone with the Wind. Rubel and Herb Maddoxon, they decided, well, let's write a song called Gone with the Wind, and maybe we'll enter this and we'll get it. They sent it in, and it was promptly rejected. Anyway, a big band record got made of it, and it became a #1 hit. And this, infuriated David O. Selznick. He was like, my people passed on the #1 hit, and now he'd been scooped, because, there was a hit song called Gone with the Wind that had nothing to do with him or his movie. The Oscar is a movie made in 1966. It's often talked about as one of the worst films ever made. It's the only movie Tony Bennett was ever in. Apparently, when he saw the movie, he swore that he would never be in a movie again. They did write a song that I think is one of the most beautiful songs from a movie ever. It's called Maybe September, and it's proof that wonderful fruit can be grown in the most arid of soil. Stanley Donen made a movie called Two for the Road. That he had just made a big movie in Europe, and it was filled with action scenes and extras and all kinds of stuff. And he just said, I just want to make a movie about two people and driving around Europe. I just like one little car and two people. So he went to Albert Finney, big star at the time, and told him the idea. And Albert Finney said, "Oh my God, that's a great idea. I just made a huge movie too, and I want to do something very simple. Why don't we go to Audrey Hepburn?" And she said, "Oh, that's a wonderful idea." So the way Stanley told it, on the first day they get out into their first location, and he's standing and he's waiting for the little sports car to drive up, and it does, and it's followed by a couple of trucks, and the trucks keep coming. And Stanley says to the assistant director, "What are all those trucks?" And he says, "Oh, that's Audrey Hepburn's wardrobe." You know, these songs can certainly stand on their own, but adding that little bit of context seems to enrich the experience of listening to them. Like I said, storytelling is what I do as a musician and as a filmmaker. Jazz was my first love, and it taught me what I know about emotion and humor, suspense, and keeping an audience excited and interested and moved, and hopefully glad that they came out and listened.